So the teams lining up behind their respective captains. I know that Michael Hogan from Moylough and his friends at Mount Bellew are watching this game in their local club in Perth in Western Australia. So the president takes a position in the first row of the further section. Another man watching in New York, by the way, is Hughie Smith from Mullahoran in County Cavan. He's wished well by everybody here this afternoon. And some more people that we've been asked to send greetings to. The Roxley family from Leixlip in County Kildare. They're watching it also in Edmonton in Alberta. And I was asked to say Diogwit to Fergal Tierney, maybe watching it in the Irish Oak Bar in Chicago. Hello to Fergal. So the teams then parading behind their respective captains on what is truly a tremendous national sporting occasion. Final moments of anxiety for the players, this ceremonial parade of the teams. I suppose no amount of experience, even for battle-hardened players like Ray Silk, can ever prepare one for this magical moment. Look at this, for a wonderful sea of maroon and white fans representing the Connacht champions. The last day of the championship itself, barring a draw, of course. The two best teams on form. And of course, who can ever forget or just not consider the attachment between fans and players that's always so evident here on the day of the All-Ireland football final itself. The contest to win the decibel level. And of course there is the touchable parochial element as well. It might well be that your postman or your teacher, it could be a tradesman, it might be a milkman, who has that magical moment during the next 70 minutes to win the Sam Maguire for Galway or for Kildare. Ray Silk hoping to emulate the men of Galway. People like Mick Walsh in 1925, Mick Higgins 1934, John Dunn just 4 years later, and of course Jack Mangan in 56, not forgetting the three-in-a-row teams, captains they were at that stage by Enda Colleran twice, and of course also John Donnellan. What a fantastic scene this is from the very, very top of the new Cusack stand, looking down on a pitch that is in very good condition this afternoon, just a little bit soft still following the rain we had during the week. On the right, Glenn Ryan leading a county team which first won the All-Ireland back in 1905. Joe Rafferty was the de facto captain, but John Murray was the de jure leader, I'm told. In fact, Rafferty's club Clane represented the county, and the club colours were white, and they remain white ever since. Of course, going on through the story of glory for Kildare, Larry Stanley was the captain 1919 against Galway, and in 1927 it was Mick Buckley of Cara, and he could have been captain 8 years earlier. And of course the following year, 1928, the Sam Maguire was presented for the very first time. So the teams then parading down right in front of Hill 16, which this afternoon is very much the possession of Glenn Ryan's followers, the Kildare men. A big day as well for the match officials here. John Bannon will be in charge, the man from Longford, and his linesmen Niall Barrett and Brian White. Niall Barrett, of course, from Cork, Brian White from Wexford. Incidentally, the origin of the white and the lily whites and so on, Father Paul Fitzpatrick wrote to me during the week and told me that it all had to do with a man whose name was John Hyland from Ballytague, and he apparently drowned. And sadly, the funeral at that stage, instead of the mourners wearing black, they wore white, and he was engaged to a lady called Lily Moran, and the lily whites apparently stuck ever since. That's the story that I've been told. Glorious, glorious scene for all these people, young and old alike. Just minutes away now from the 109th ever All-Ireland football final. The combined Artane band, the boys band, and the senior band as well, making a tremendous musical effect. Dermot Early. This is one man I know that Galway really do fear, his ability to come out and take the ball from the kick-out and gain valuable possession. And And there's his dad, former Kildare manager as well, of course. Played in the 1980 final for Roscommon against Kerry, but of course, from their point of view, it was a match Roscommon felt they should have won, but didn't. And now his son has a chance, and the other man with a dad involved, of course, is very definitely Carol O'Dwyer, son of Micko. It's Kildare who won the toss. They'll play from left to right in the first half. Mick O'Dwyer in his 21st ever All-Ireland final. Tremendous record. Paul Hennessy is about to sing the national anthem, and the crowd here at Croke Park have been asked to show the maximum respect for Aaron Navian. Who would realistically and honestly have said at the start of the year that it would be Kildare against Galway in the 1998 All-Ireland football final? When were Kildare 2-1 on favourites before in a major championship match? Will the likes of Tomás Meehan here and his Galway colleagues be able to justify what the scribes have been saying in the last few days, that they may be the ones to prevail on this particular occasion? It seems that it could well be a very open contest. Let's hope so. Let's wish both the teams every success on this day of days in GAA. So Kildare to play from left to right in the first half, having won the toss. Little breeze about. Very, very slight breeze blowing into the goal on our right. All kinds of colour, all kinds of headwear on view here this afternoon. Tickets so rare to come by. They're the lucky ones, but who'll take the Sam Maguire Cup? John Bannon from Longford checking the watch. And the 109th All-Ireland final gets underway. And straight away into midfield, it's Niall Buckley, known as Nuxer to his pals, leaving it for William McCreary. A huge one down towards Pádraig Graven. Palmed away there just momentarily. McCormack was in quickly after. Seems to have switched wings. This is Graven here, tight enough angle, kicking hopefully. And that one has gone to the left. First attack, failing to produce a score for Pádraig Graven. Pádraig Graven, who has scored a goal and 21 points in the championship so far. Today it's his 10th championship match. Just taking a look down to the Kildare defence, by the way. John Finn is in the full back line, and he is picking up Shea Walsh, who seems to have switched. Or has he? No, he hasn't. Shane Walsh is in the right half-forward position. The two half-forwards, wing-forwards that is, have switched for Galway. But it is Pádraig Joyce, at the start of the match at least, playing in the full-forward line. That was Michael Donlan there. Tomás Mannion here. Belting it downfield, in over the head of Neil Finnegan. Secure play at the back, however. That was John Finn, and that's going to be a free-in. Finn, who's an Air Corps pilot, committing the indiscretion, and it's going to be a free to Galway. Neil Finnegan, who can take the frees from the right, and of course Pádraig Joyce would hit them from the opposite wing with his left boot. Thinking, I think, about going short. There were a couple of runs being made for him, in particular by Derek Savage, just ahead of him. So Finnegan from the St. Sylvester's Club here in Dublin, Brian Tauty's club, of course. Here's the first chance then for Galway. It's going away to the left, and all players powerless to contain it. Well, it's going to be interesting this afternoon to see just what kind of a return Galway will get. How the likes of Jar Fallon, Michael Donlan and Neil Finnegan, key men in that forward line. By the way, Michael Donlan, his maternal granduncle, by the way, played for Kildare, but also played for Kildare and for Galway, winning All-Ireland medals. His name was Michael Mannion. Christy Byrne kicking this one. Picked up here by Jar Fallon. Going forward with some purpose. Trying to test that injury there of Glenn Ryan. Here's Ryan. First time to get onto the ball. Ball spills away from him. Niall Buckley again. Match trying to develop a shape and a pattern. Everybody seeming a bit edgy in the opening minutes. Although in the dressing rooms they all looked quite calm. Huge occasion for Miko. Of all the successes he's had, I think if he could win the cup here, he'd probably regard it as the sweetest victory that he ever had in a wonderful career. Well, it's going to be Tomás Mannion who hit this. Down towards Derek Savage. Crowd roaring on their encouragement. Dropping it in there towards Porrick Joyce. Joyce having this chance to put Galway ahead. And he's put it over the bar. First point of the All-Ireland final scored by Porrick Joyce. Galway get off to the better start. Very much an individual score, taking it away there from his man, who is John Finn this afternoon, and that went over the bar. He's playing quite deep, incidentally, and Galway trying to exploit space in front for Derek Savage and for Neil Finnegan. O'Donnell leaves this one, and it's Declan Kerrigan who comes to take it. Now Niall Buckley, blocked down. Still runs on, however, towards Kerrigan. The block was by Jar Fallon. This is Rainbow. Anthony Rainbow wearing 7, even though they announced in the paper that he will wear 5 and play on the opposite wing. Hardly seen much reason to make that particular switch in any case, as Gary Fahy goes back. Locating Kevin Walsh, playing some of the best football of his career. Glenn Ryan trying to get under this one. Jar Fallon in there to challenge him. It's booted out in the end, however, by Ken Doyle. Taken up here by Shea Walsh. Walsh down to Neil Finnegan. Finnegan trying to get away. That's a great ball inside. Here's an excellent chance for Joyce once again. He was dragged and he took a lot of steps, I think, and the referee has signalled it's going to be a free out. The referee was indicating that it was going to be a free, and then I think he realised that Kildare had possession and he allowed them the advantage. Niall Buckley, good shoulder from Finnegan. Glenn Ryan, a couple of players going to him, O'Donnell right alongside him. Buckley again. Again a good shoulder coming in from Sean O'Donnell from the wing, where he scored a memorable point in the semi-final win. Belted out of defence there by Lacey. Down towards Martin Lynch. The contest there between Lynch and Mannion should be a good one. That's Sauce Dowling playing the ball forward, intended for Graven. Stopped instead by Tomás Meehan. Here's Tomás Mannion. Mannion 45 metres out. Willie McCreary going back. This is Brian Lacey once again. Man who played in the championship for Tipperary and of course won a Leinster medal with Kildare. Nicely forward for Porrick Graven again, picking out Sauce Dowling, playing in a very advanced position. Lynch, they leave 1-on-1 inside. Dermot Early against Silk, should have been. And he's put it wide, and that was an excellent chance, and it's the second wide for Kildare. And that really was a glorious movement which should have produced something. Well, Dermot Early knows that he had a wonderful chance. He drifted in. It was 1-on-1 here against his marker Ray Silk, who ended up on the flat of his back. But that was a tremendously piece of astute thinking. Silk was gone for naught, but the ball outside and wide. Kerrigan gathering beautifully, trying to set up a movement here which would see Kildare possibly draw level. Rainbow, Niall Buckley. Big loss in the semi-final. Again, it's Martin Lynch going across there, and Tomás Mannion. They said he might have his hands full this afternoon against the likes of Martin Lynch. He's such a good player. Look how deep Michael Donlan has come. On for Kevin Walsh. A real tear-away play this. That's a great movement. Michael Donlan right through the heart of the Kildare defence. Laying it off here for Derek Savage. Savo playing it outside to Sean Old, the player. And that has gone over the bar. Christy Byrne is objecting, but Sean Old, the player, has come forward and hit an absolutely wonderful point. Well, he's always good for a point or two, as we know in championship matches, but what about the movement? What about Michael Donlan's role? And of course, also support play the whole time from several players, and an excellent finish. Niall Buckley, incidentally, has had his name taken in the last couple of seconds. Well, Christy Byrne was certainly objecting to that particular score, but it looked an absolutely valid point from here. Dermot Earley trying to make amends for the one that got away. Bypassing Glenn Ryan. Buckley, a bit slow in getting away here, fouled by Sean O'Donnell. This is Dermot Earley playing as a third midfielder towards Martin Lynch. Fetches well, good layoff towards Eddie McCormack. Oh, a high and hopeful one. And another bad miss by Kildare. Disappointed Kildare fans with the start that their side has made in this particular match. Well, the last thing he'll want to do is what happened here when Galway were playing against Derry. On that occasion, Derry allowed Kildare 4 points at the start of the match, more or less, and we're always trying to play catch-up. That's nicely fetched again by Dermot Earley. Earley again taking on Ray Silk. Silk having a torrid time of it so far. This is Niall Buckley. And this time it's gone to the right. Not too much in that one. An ambitious one from about 45 metres out. But the Whites mounting up 4 now so far for the Lily Whites. And this marriage that's planned for 5 o'clock of Lily and Sam certainly put on hold for the moment. Willie McCreary and Kevin Walsh contesting in midfield, and it's O'Donnell against Buckley. Martin McNamara, known as Mac to all of his followers and fans. O'Donnell breaking this one down. McCormack thought he had it. This is Sean the player. Back to Donovan. That's O'Donnell. Huge booming one down there towards Joyce. Direct football being played by Galway. Finnegan laying one down along the line towards Savage, but he couldn't quite contain it. Ken Doyle was there. And the pass just carrying a bit too much pace for Derek Savage. But he is small in stature, but nonetheless a player with a big heart and a strong, tough competitor as well. Not sure if that's Lily or Lily the Pink. This to be taken by Christy Byrne. Christy playing in his 14th championship match. Not a particularly good kick out, but it reaches Anthony Rainbow. Now Glenn Ryan laying it off there for Lacey. Fumbles. Donlan getting it back in. Big roar of approval from the Galway following. But it'll be a sideline ball for Kildare. This is going to be taken by John Finn towards Glenn Ryan. Again, the short passing out of defence by Kildare, very much their trademark. Buckley linking up with Ken Doyle. Thought about the return to Buckley. Going long this time. Eddie McCormack directly running at his man. Sound tactics against Sean the player. Carol O'Dwyer, first time to really get on the ball in this match. Gary Fahy there for company. Lobbing one in dangerously early, was trying to get the fist to it, but didn't make a proper connection. He's been close on a few occasions, and Carol O'Dwyer on this occasion the provider. So just over 11 minutes gone, and this is where Kildare thought they might well be getting in for their first score of the match, and that's as close as Dermot Earley came. But it's interesting that Earley is drifting in from the half-forward position into the full forward line time and again. That's Dively. Now Neil Finnegan taking on Brian Lacey. Finnegan checking his stride. Curling one beautifully in. Ken Doyle did well, tuck it away from Savage. That was dangerous. Out as far as Kerrigan, such a very intelligent number 11. Playing very deep, been given a lot of latitude by his manager, but he's using it very wisely. This is nicely out to Rainbow. Almost a dispossession there with Corrick Joyce, the player involved. Here comes Willie McCreary. Great ball down along the line to Martin Lynch. Ready to change direction time and again and bring Tomas Mannion all over the place. Lynch looking to try and get Kildare's first score. There was a good block there by Mannion. Finally out by Silk. Now Kevin Walsh. A strong man in midfield. Nicely on there towards Ja Fallon. Ja challenged not once but twice. Glenn Ryan doing well. No real indication of that injury troubling him so far. Played forward by Buckley. Mannion gets it away. This is Sean O'Donnell. Dively. Another very good block that time, taking the sting out of that one. Nicely taken up here by Michael Donnellan. He's a terrific footballer, coming forward, looking for another score for Galway, and that's another one. He raises his arms in delight. Michael Donnellan deserved that. It's the second superb run that he's made through the middle, and this one yields a score for the man from Dunmore MacHales. Well, all the family and all the people in Dunmore would be very pleased to see this. It was a tremendous run forward by Michael Donnellan, and that sailed over the crossbar for point number 3. This, the block just moments ago here. Mannion doing just enough, and Silk perfectly positioned. Anthony Rainbow, by the way, has been switched on to Michael Donnellan in a switch in the last couple of seconds. McCreary from McCormack. This is a good situation, and that's gone over the bar. Well, it's taken 13 minutes for Kildare's first score, but Eddie McCormack finally made it. Well, as we know from past form, he tends to run across the field more than directly taking his man on. Today he's doing a bit more of the direct stuff, and that was a wonderful kick from some distance. So Kildare finally get off the mark as William McCreary was setting up the opportunity, and in the end it was McCormack from Clane who scored. Well, that should do the Kildare confidence a lot of good. Not a particularly great kick out this time either by the other goalkeeper, Martin McNamara, but it reaches Michael Donnellan. I think the tactic is to try and keep it out of the middle, where there's a feeling, of course, that Kildare are so strong in the air. Mobile players, the likes of Buckley and McCreary in particular, and Early quite capable of going back in there to take vital possession. It's a huge one in towards Martin Lynch. He's in after it, and it's a save on the goal line by McNamara. That was close. Martin Lynch almost getting inside the cover there of Gary Fahy. McCreary comes to leap, but he leaves it behind to Ja Fallon. Fallon from Tuam stars, nobody marking him. Lacey slow to get in, and there's a man in support. And it's well taken in the end after all of that by John Finn. But there was a glorious chance of a goal at one end and another at the other. Here's McCormack, lobbing it forward towards Pádraig Graven, trying to hand pass it to one of the runners coming through. Kerrigan was hit with a hard shoulder by Tomás Meehan. It's still Kerrigan, challenged by Meehan again. Back to Lynch. This is Pádraig Graven. Well, Dermot Earley was waiting in there. He was almost inside the small rectangle, and Galway get away with it. A lot of goal opportunities in this match. This is the player, one of the scorers so far in the game, Sean O'Donnell. Lobbing it down, hopefully really, and Glenn Ryan perfectly positioned. Now Ken Doyle providing the assistance, getting it away from Savage. Here's McCormack once more. A run forward being made by the number 17, Sos Dowling. Still McCormack. Now Glenn Ryan. Again, some isolation inside there, and it's working out well. McCreary's forward, and there's support from Early, and it's in. Finally, a goal does come. Dermot Earley, the goal scorer. Suddenly, Kildare fans break the decibel level. It was wonderful positioning here. McCreary coming forward, and the diving figure of Dermot Earley to slot it into the back of the net. There it is, and Kildare have taken the lead. Well, they'll watch it again and again and again. So 1-1 to 3 points the position. Here's Martin Lynch getting onto it again. But the tactic of isolating one-on-one inside against the Galway full back line is working really well. Opportunities are coming, and coming right now is John Dively. Dively opting to stay back, by the way, all this while Declan Kerrigan does a bit of roaming out the field. This is Sean the player. Always confidence will be a little bit rocked, I'm sure, by the concession of that goal. That's a great catch by John Finn. Picked to play on the half-back line, but of course at club level he does play full-back. Buckley. This time Silk gets there ahead of Dermot Earley, who looks at the linesman as if to say there was a foul. Kevin Walsh taking it away from Graven. And that's a bad ball. Comes to Glenn Ryan. Ken Doyle knocked down along towards the goal scorer. But look at the amount of room he's been given by Ray Silk. First time inside, and the Galway backline now have more or less read that particular tactic. Comes out to Silk. Little push, I think, there by John Fallon and Glenn Ryan. Fallon gets away with it. Curling it into the centre towards Neil Finnegan, and it's always going to be Sos Dowlings. Lacey, this is Buckley. Buckley is tripped, and the referees in the end saw the ball touched on the ground, so it's going to be a free downfield. Niall Buckley, the player who is getting himself off the ground, as we go across to the far sideline, and a reporter this afternoon who's Marty Morrissey.
Yes, Gerard, there's a little bit of frustration evident now in the Kildare camp despite that goal. They're worried that the short passing game is going to cause them problems, and there's also a problem with cogs. Mick O'Dwyer has brought a set of boots to the sideline in an effort to change at least one of the half-backs' football boots.
Interesting times ahead then, as that's booted into the corner, but nobody had any real chance of getting at the end of it. But it's a tactic down in the Kildare full backline that has worked pretty well. John Finn has settled in well, and what about the saves of McNamara? This was Buckley firing this one in. Lynch was coming after it, got a little fist to it, and a very fine save by McNamara. And the other one came very soon after that, right onto the bar it was coming, and McNamara getting the ball away from danger. Back in the centre of the field, John Fallon trying to borrow his way through against Glenn Ryan. It'll be Galway's free kick. Kevin Walsh shaping up like he'll take it. Dively making a run outside. And they have a player down injured. I think it's John Fallon. The man who is marking him, of course, Glenn Ryan, the Kildare captain. So straight away the medical officials brought in to attend to the injured player. Dr. Jarlath Dignan from Tuam, the doctor in charge, and of course that's John O'Mahony, a man who lost the All-Ireland final in 1989, but whose preparation has been meticulous. Alongside him there, the physio, Mick Byrne, of course, tells me that his daughter Deirdre is watching this live in Spain. And this is what happened as that ball was caught brilliantly by Jah Fallon, coming down awkwardly. 4 Kildare men right alongside him. And we have more news coming up in just a moment, but the free, first of all, which is about to be taken by Michael Donnellan. Huge distance out, belted in there, caught well. This is Walsh, Shea Walsh. Did well. And that has gone just off the defender, and it's gone for a 45. Shea Walsh with a little piece of trickery. One of those players sent off in the wrong in the minor semi-final in 1993, later exonerated, and this time in 1998 lining up at left half forward, and that's how close he came. Christy Byrne getting a touch to it. So while this kick is being prepared, let's go back to the sideline and Marty.
Just to follow up on that boot situation, while that injury was being taken care of, Mick O'Dwyer offered a pair of football boots to Niall Buckley, and Niall declined and said that he was fine, he was going to continue on.
Continuing on right now will be Porrick Joyce. A point so far, he got the first point of the match. This his first long-range free. That has gone to the right. We have the chance of levelling up the game, but it's Kildare who still lead by just a point. That goal after 16 minutes credited to Dermot Earley. Very low-scoring finals so far, with nearly 22 minutes gone. But the tactics really, really interesting. Both sides having studied the opposition in great detail. Dermot Earley again trying to catch this one from the kick out. They've read that one, because over there to try and mark him was Shea Walsh. 2 number 12s were in opposition as the kick out was coming from Christy Byrne. Silk going back, the Galway captain. Free coming up to Kildare. Niall Buckley about to take it. Fisted away there by Sean O'G, the player, from Eddie McCormack. This is Shea Walsh doing a little solo, holding it up for Dupuer to come forward again. It's one aspect of this game that he really loves, the Galway number 7, dragging down Niall Buckley. And the referee has noted the offence. I think once that happens again, there could well be a booking. Buckley sending it in towards that Galway defence, and it's Declan Kerrigan kicking it high and putting it over the bar. He's out there to try and pick up the little pieces that come his way occasionally, and he has now put 2 points between the teams. A simple, straightforward tactic of anticipating as the free was going in. Tomás Mannion knocking it out, but waiting there, Kildare's number 11, and you know the rest. So it's now 1-2 for Kildare, 3 points for Galway. Kerrigan, a very thoughtful player, thoughtful in his approach to football. Against Kerry in the semi-final, he was clearly in charge at centre-half forward. So McNamara beaten already once in this match with the kick out. Towards Kevin Walsh, drops it down, McCreary is there. And if he starts to make more of those runs forward, you wonder, will Kevin Walsh be tracking him the whole time, as indeed he has to do. McCormack, again, just one man inside to aim at right now. And even as I say that, Martin Lynch moves away to the left and they leave somebody else inside. That somebody else is early going in, but he couldn't hold on to it. He ends up going wide once again. Well, Galway's last score, you know, was in the 13th minute of this match, so now gone 11 minutes without a Galway score. McNamara preparing to kick it down the middle. Has a very good kick out. O'Donnell coming to try and fetch. Broken ball, anticipated again by Sean O'G, the player. Time and again he's been pushing forward, taking the free himself towards Ja Fallon. Having a quick look around to see what the options are. Glenn Ryan trying to delay his progress. Inside towards Porrick Joyce, the goalkeeper's come out. Christy Byrne got it, but Savage has it now for Galway. Awkward angle, blocked down by Buckley, that's a great block. Support from Ken Doyle, and Niall Buckley takes it away again to Declan Kerrigan. Divilly has stayed way back, Kerrigan's lost it. Galway have it again, Neil Finnegan. Kerrigan putting in the challenge, it's still Neil Finnegan. Looking around to see just where there's a little space, he was trying to link up with Savage, but it's Kildare who have it back. And that familiar pattern of the lily-white players getting it out of trouble. That goes from McCormack to McCreary. Mannion winning it. Back here again towards Tomás Meehan. This is Porrick Joyce. McCormack trying to get in the challenge. So too John Finn. Still Porrick Joyce looking for another score. Galway really needs something. Donnellan may be the provider. He was a little off balance as he was hitting it, never connected properly. Nothing quite like that memorable point he scored early in the game, and there are now 5 Galway wides. Well, that's Eamon O'Hara, the Sligo midfielder, wonderful player that he is here, enjoying the All-Ireland final this afternoon. I think he'd like to see, I'm sure, a bit more of the fireworks. So Christy Byrne from Castle Mitchell to take this kick out. Going left this time again towards Dermot Early. Silk was on the ground, so too was Early, and the referee, I think, has decided that it's going to be a free for Kildare. Or is it a free for Galway? It's going to be a free for Galway. Taken quickly by Kevin Walsh. John Divilly trying to turn inside Willie McCreary. Still Divilly. Ken Doyle going in to try and deny him. Picked up there by McCreary. This is Brian Lacey, had that memorable match in the semi-final against Kerry. Sostowling. This is Glenn Ryan. Very short and dangerous, and you feel going to get themselves into serious trouble sometime, as they very nearly did in that match against Kerry some 4 weeks ago. Niall Buckley. 8 minutes to go to half-time. Kildare leading. Galway get it back here to Gary Fahy. Linking up with Sean O'Donnell. Walsh was available just about 10 metres ahead of him. He holds on. Here's Silk, trying to establish some mastery, opting the end to just belt it down. Ken Doyle's out swiftly there to deny. Savage loses it then. Glenn Ryan's in. Savage still a tricky character. Still Derek Savage. Remember that great goal he got against Mayo in the first round of the Connacht Championship? Here he comes again. Well, that's straight into the arms of the waiting Christy Byrne. Now Anthony Rainbow. Niall Buckley. Again, the Lily Whites come foraging. McCreary doing a little 1-2 with Anthony Rainbow. Martin Lynch against Tomas Mannion. Lynch has the capacity certainly to cause many headaches for the Galway backline, but Galway get it back through Shea Walsh. An ambitious one across towards Michael Donnellan, rising up for it. Broken ball, won back here again by Kildare. Lacey getting that ball away, and inevitably it's Niall Buckley who will come deep, make himself available. McCormack coming away off his man Dupoire. Here's Kerrigan. Dimley now finally trying to dispossess him. Did well. O'Donnell's first touch not great, trying to pick that ball up. Gets it the second time. Michael Donnellan again, terrific footballer. Players calling for it. Ja Fallon wants it, gives a return once more to Michael Donnellan, holding up the point of the attack against Anthony Rainbow. The angle tight, the kick good, and it sails over the bar. That's the second point for Michael Donnellan. You just feel, of the men I mentioned at the beginning, Donnellan, Fallon and Finnegan, this is the player who is really in form. Delighted young Galway fans, pleased to see their side edge within a point of Kildare. And it really was a fine score. Michael Donnellan getting that ball back, doing a little solo run, showing his trickery against Rainbow, but a masterful finish. Christy Byrne going short, this time to try and pick out William McCreary. Over the head of Pádraig Raven, it hasn't really made an impression so far. Carol O'Dwyer also striving to get into the match, and that'll do nicely from a Kildare point of view. He taps it over the bar. He's only been on the ball, I think, twice in the game so far, but one of those occasions nearly produced a score, and this one certainly does. So a tight match then, as always expected. 1-3 to 4 points. Kildare leading by 2. Carol O'Dwyer having the better of his tussle here with Gary Fahy. Lovely little chip onto the top of the bar and over. Martin McNamara has had a fantastic year with Corofin and Galway. Back at the venue we're on St Patrick's Day, Ray Silk led Corofin to victory. Shea Walsh now hoping that Silk will have the same honour this afternoon. Niall Buckley, a long way to go yet. Getting it back from McCreary into the space, and Mannion gets there well. It may be difficult to get out ahead of your man when your man is Martin Lynch, but he just got a little touch on it, out as far as Michael Donnellan, high up into the air. Glenn Ryan comfortably under it, locating Niall Buckley. 4 minutes to go to the break as Graven sets up Carol O'Dwyer, looking for 2 in a row. He may have started quietly, but he really is now putting down a marker for the Galway backline. This is a player that simply has to be very vigilantly watched. Miko, his dad, will be delighted because he's put a goal between the teams, 1-4 to 4 points. Well, the point has been made time and again that this is a player who's made a big difference. He's come in and he's shown what he can do, and he scores regularly. That's 13 points now in the championship that Carol O'Dwyer has contributed to Kildare's cause. O'Donnell, fine fetch, good catch indeed by Sean O'Donnell. But look how quickly he's closed down. Silk dispossessed by Early, but it comes back once again to O'Donnell. Silk chasing after this one, keeping it away from Declan Kerrigan. Not really quite sure where he's going. In the end, he picks out Ja Fallon, beating Glenn Ryan to it in towards Joyce, and that beats them all, and it's a kick out. Well, in a way, it summed up part of Galway's game this afternoon. Silk taking the ball forward, not quite sure what the final tactic was going to be, and in the end a breakdown of communications between the players out the field and the inside forwards. Declan Kerrigan ready to forage for it in midfield, marked by John Divilly. Dermot Earley coming out to take the kick out once again, and not for the first time in this championship. Glenn Ryan, here's Brian Lacey. What a marvellous year he's having. Eddie McCormack dancing away from Sean O'Dwyer. It's Lacey who takes it up for Martin Lynch. Lacey still running forward. Lynch holding it up. The other players, I think, felt that the ball should have been played in a bit earlier. It's with Rainbow. Well, when Lacey made his run through that time, it all seemed quite in vain when Martin Lynch didn't play the ball into him, when the Galway backline seemed a bit bamboozled. So late in this first half, worth noting that Kildare have now had 7 wides in the match and Galway with 6. So inside the final 2 minutes of the first half. One for the jumpers in midfield, fisted down by Buckley to the waiting Declan Kerrigan. Time and again he's one broken ball. Lynch transferring it back towards Kerrigan. A little run forward by McCreary, who's tracking him. Nobody at this stage. Nicely inside. Craven stumbled. Had he been able to stay on his feet and had the pass been inch perfect, there would surely have been a second goal there for Kildare. But that run by McCreary, neither of the two midfielders picked him up. That has to be a source of concern for John O'Mahony. He makes such good runs, selflessly laying off the ball on that occasion. Ja Fallon, lobbed outside here towards Neil Finnegan. Lacey trying to close it. Finnegan really taking it at his man. Holds it up really well, strong play. That angle shot across. Walsh there, Joyce there as well. It's with Joyce. Still Porrick Joyce going in, looking for something out of this. Stopped by John Finn, won back by Christy Byrne. And Kildare breathe a sigh of relief. Niall Buckley getting it out once more towards Rainbow. Early, laying it back to Glenn Ryan. They go long towards McCormack, and they really have this Galway backline in real trouble time and again. McCormack kicking, that's a successful one, it's between the posts. Eddie McCormack with his second point of the day, delighted Kildare fans. But just when Galway might have got something through Porrick Joyce at the other end, Kildare had the confidence to build it up. They went long to McCormack. He took on the defence, and in particular Sean O'Dwyer, and he belted it over the bar and between the posts. So far in this first half, which is now nearly into injury time, in fact it is into injury time, Kildare have established 15 chances. Galway have made 10 chances, and you can see the score: 6 scores for Kildare, 4 for Galway. 4 points the margin. Great catch by Sean O'Donnell. Laying it along the line down there towards Neil Finnegan. Derek Savage trying to steal inside Ken Doyle's cover, and he wins the free. It may have looked a bit clumsy, but the referee wasn't too far away from the action. And Derek Savage did really well to win that free kick. It's to be taken by Porrick Joyce, the left-footed kicker who got the first score of this game. Ken Doyle from Allenwood in Kildare going back. Munster fans, because there's a mix in there of Kildare and Laois. I should remind followers who are watching it around the world that the minor match was won by Tyrone. They beat Laois by 211 to 11 points. That's kicked, and it's kicked over the bar. A second point then for Porrick Joyce, and that Galway man there trying to urge on the Galway team to even greater heights. It's won 5 to 5 points. Half-time has come in the 109th All-Ireland football final. Only 1 goal in the match so far, but many goal-scoring chances presenting themselves. And the goal that counted and came after 16 minutes was scored by the diving figure of Dermot Early, hoping to go one better than his dad in 1980. And here at Croke Park at half-time at the Bank of Ireland All-Ireland football final, it is Kildare who lead. They lead by 1-5 to 5 points. So we're just seeing whether there are any possible switches or changes. Don't see any so far. It is Buckley and McCreary in midfield for Kildare, Walsh and O'Donnell for Galway, and John Bannon gets the second half underway. And Niall Buckley, or Nuxer as they call him, fisting it forward. Willie McCreary laying it outside towards Eddie McCormack. Sean Og, the player, marvellous at going forward, now called on to defend. McCormack going right across the field here. Kerrigan, Buckley coming in again on his left boot. Dermot Early was following it all the way in, did well, really deceiving the Galway backline. Unable to swing that boot at it, however. McCreary was there in assistance, but Tomás Mannion with an excellent first half. Blocks. It's come back to Porrick Raven, yet to score in this match. McCormack shot straight into Martin McNamara. Kevin Walsh, the midfielder, has come very, very deep. Now John Divilly, belting it way down towards Porrick Joyce. It's a Galway forward line with a more than usual number of left-footed players. Savage coming in on his left boot, and that has just gone to the left. It was close, but it seems that Kildare as a backline have done their defence very well, and time and again, as Brian Mullins looks on here, time and again the Kildare defence seem to be able to force the Galway men as much as possible onto their right boot, much to the displeasure of the likes of Jaff Allen, Porrick Joyce and so on, and Mick O'Dwyer pacing up and down that line. He's been through it all before. Jaff Allen trying to come more into the match at centre half forward. Kevin Walsh is there to assist. They look once again for Derek Savage, getting away from Ken Doyle. This holds some promise. Savage, Doyle did well, bided his time, waited for the correct moment to come in and dispossess the tricky number 13 of Galway. Good defensive play. This is one here by Tomás Meehan. Meehan from Caltra, laying one in there towards Jar Fallon. Against Glen Ryan, he's had problems getting really good possession in the game. Michael Donnellan, one of the stars so far in this Galway performance. Into the corner he goes. Savage switches wings. You see what I mean about him trying to get it onto the left. Fallon again, hitting this one in, and that's gone over the bar. Jar Fallon, his first point, so he narrows the gap, delighting the fans down there at the Royal Canal end of Croke Park. That was an unerring finish by Jar Fallon. Now the Galway followers want to see a lot more of that. 2 points the difference. Savage set it up for him. Jar Fallon, quick throw of the shoulder to the right, onto the left, and a beautiful finish. Both sets of followers getting right behind their team in this, what is always the match of the year. Kerrigan across towards McCormack, trying to link up there with Niall Buckley, didn't come for him. Instead it's Sean Og, the player, to his team captain, Ray Silk. A big one in towards Joyce, great fielding by John Finn. A real authoritative figure back there in the Kildare defence this afternoon. McCormack, support inevitably from Anthony Rainbow. Graven was going low for that. Kevin Walsh leaving it there. And John Divilly was trying to get away from his man, but fouled. That's a great ball. Donnellan inside towards Joyce, here's a chance! Galway surely will score here, and they do! Galway have got in front. Porrick Joyce with a goal after just 4 minutes of the second half. It was a wonderful sweeping movement. It had pace, penetration and accuracy, and Joyce in the end was able to dodge around the defence and plant it into the empty net. The second goal of the game, but a crucial one this time for Galway. Lovely combined play, marking slack, and Joyce dodged around Christy Byrne, and a wonderful finish. So Galway are in front by 1-6 to 1-5. John Divilly here, Now they'll take tremendous encouragement from that score. Down to Joyce, getting away from John Finn, who's been playing brilliantly. Again, but this should have been a point. Instead it ends up in the goalkeeper's arms. Christy Byrne with a bad clearance, out to Michael Donnellan. Back towards Neil Finnegan, shouldered by Ken Doyle. He's got support, Fallon's available. Finnegan kicking it, and it's put over the bar. A wonderful spell for Galway. Neil Finnegan gets it. That man is defiant. They're all defiant. They want to take back the Sam Maguire Cup west of the Shannon. The last time it was done was 1966. The end of the 3 in a row. And now Galway lead by 2. This is the goal again. Beautiful combined play. And a fine finish from Joyce, who simply couldn't miss. Now it's been put up to the Lily Whites. Coming into the match 2-1 on favourites in the minds of the bookies. A lot of money on them. Free is taken quickly. Rainbow. And that's gone wide. Terrible waste of possession by Anthony Rainbow. Just for a second there, I feel some of the players felt the free was going to be retaken. The attendance this afternoon, 65,886. Galway fans loving it just now. They trail by 3 points. They lead by 2. And all of that in the space of about 6 minutes. Now McNamara's kick out will have to be good and accurate. Again, they may come looking for Dermot Early. They switch the direction, however, and it's Kevin Walsh who takes it. Nicely up. Finnegan. Confidence greatly boosted by that point. Well, a hit and hope one into space towards the 2-man inside forward line, consisting of Savage and Joyce. Sideline kick will be taken by Brian Lacey. John Finn thought about kicking, but decided, hang on, we'll just keep our method and our discipline at the back. To Glenn Ryan. Here's Rainbow. Now, what about the Kildare inner belief, their self-confidence? It must have been dinted by this start by Galway to the second half. Finnegan, pursued by McCreary. That's O'Donnell. Back once again towards the corner forward. Dropping one in here. Shea Walsh was in to contest there with Christy Byrne. John Finn. Again, they go very, very short. Ken Doyle. Good outlet pass that time to Brian Lacey. He's pushed by Sean O'Donnell. Here's Rainbow. That's an excellent pass into the middle. Players in support if he can release it quickly. A lot of good runs have been made. That's nicely fetched. Great block down. Eddie McCormack, the one who was hitting that one, and it's come back in the end to Tomas Mannion. Lovely turn of direction by Kevin Walsh. That's his own 45-metre line. Jar Fallon trying to give the leadership on the 40. Quick throw of the shoulders onto the left boot. A huge one that's high, and it's over the bar. Jar Fallon's second point. Well, this is among the best football that Galway has played in this year's championship. Mick Byrne making the point. He's always been John O'Mahony's support sidekick, as it were, when John has been managing championship teams. 3 points between the teams. This was a fine individual display by Jar Fallon. The throw of the shoulders deceiving his man. Christy Byrne kicking straight down the middle. Jar Fallon, his confidence is really sky high at this stage. Out to Michael Donnellan, ready to take on Anthony Rainbow, and take on he as his jersey was pulled. The referee seems to allow an advantage. Back towards Finnegan. Can they finish again in some style here? They most certainly can. A second point by Neil Finnegan, and right now it's Galway who look like champions. Well, that's right now, and there's still another 26 minutes to go. Kildare definitely rattled. Michael Donnellan with the incision, the jersey hauled back. Good advantage allowed by referee John Bannon. Back to a man who really is in form, and straight between the posts, Neil Finnegan, the scorer. So now a scoreline that's made Galway fans very, very pleased. Kildare yet to score in the second half. Here they come again. Glenn Ryan down into the space. It's Tomas Meehan who's there. Now John Dively dropping it back again towards Neil Finnegan, getting away from Brian Lacey, who felt he was pushed. Referee says play on. Finnegan trying to get by John Finn, and he has put it wide after all that effort. But definitely the challenge there on Brian Lacey was such that Lacey felt the referee should have whistled for a free out. And we've got a change, as you can see, and let's hear about it from Marty Morrissey.
Well, the details are, Ger, that Pádraig Brennan is coming on the pitch, and the man that's coming off is going to be Pádraig Graven, the left corner forward.
Pádraig Graven, sadly, from his point of view, didn't make a major impression in the 1998 final. Pádraig Brennan, young cadet in the army at the Curragh, he's on. Taken down by Walsh, not contained, however. Spilled away again from Jar Fallon. Glenn Ryan, all of a sudden Kildare 4 points behind, looking to put one on the boards themselves to the second half as McCormack goes through. A great incision there by Eddie McCormack, drawing the free kick. Eddie was thinking about taking it quickly, but I think wiser counsel prevails. Well, Pádraig Graven might well have taken the free. Instead it's entrusted to the man who has subbed for him. That's Pádraig Brennan. Brennan from Sarsfields, looking for Kildare's first score in the second half. He hits it well. It's over the bar. So Kildare begin to eat now into that Galway lead, and the margin down to 3 points again. 1-9 to 1-6. He's gone into full forward, incidentally, where he's been marked by Gary Fahy. Essentially Kildare with just two men up front in that inside forward line, Lynch and Brennan. Carol O'Dwyer, as always, is playing a quite withdrawn role. McNamara's kick out, trying to pick out one of his midfielders, Kevin Walsh. Chasing after him is McCreary. Good deep ball, great catch. Dermot Earley superb in the air. One of the real features of his game. Niall Buckley laying one down towards Brennan. Dively checking his stride, stepping back in. Declan Kerrigan well aware of the tactic he'd employ. It's a great ball. Fallon bending his back, taking on Glenn Ryan. Right in the corner there. Savage coming, making himself available. And there was a little ankle tap there by Ken Doyle. It'll be a free to Galway. And Neil Finnegan, it seems, will be the one who'll come and hit it. A switch, incidentally, in the Kildare team. I've noticed that Dermot Earley has gone to midfield and Niall Buckley has gone into the half-forward line. And we'll follow that to see whether it's a pattern which is maintained, because they're quite capable, of course, also of playing a three-man midfield. It'll be Neil Finnegan to take the free. They're concerned about John Dively, who played that marvellous ball into the corner just moments ago there. So once again the doctor is called into action. Ray Silk there attending to his centre-back colleague John Dively. And we noticed that down by the Kildare goal there were a couple of players eyeing one another up. Christy Byrne was in there, so too was Pádraig Joyce and Anthony Rainbow, and John Finn also getting more familiar with their opponents than might otherwise be the case. All this while Dively still receiving the attention. Mick Byrne is out there. Dively was selected late to play at centre half back for Galway's first match of the championship against Mayo. Replaced at one stage in one game by Damien Mitchell in the replay against Roscommon, but he's won back his place. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's going to be Neil Finnegan to take this free kick for Galway. An important kick. It sails beautifully between the posts. 3 points now for Neil Finnegan. He's having a wonderful second half. Over 14 minutes gone in the half. Galway having the better of it, leading by 4. two sides out of the limelight for so terribly long. Both sides having very good reasons why they might win the Sam this particular year. But one team is going to go home disappointed. That's Glenn Ryan trying to pick out Martin Lynch, as they were doing time and again in the first half. And Tomas Mannion's done a very good marking job on Martin Lynch. Dermot Early challenged by Pádraig Joyce. O'Donnell's there as well. Between them they foul the Kildare man. It'll be a free downfield. Happy faces in the crowd watching Niall Buckley drop one in dangerously towards William McCreary. It bounces around, McCreary has it. That's an impossible angle, and just too impossible even for William McCreary. He worked so terribly hard. Of course, during the week before an All-Ireland final there were all kinds of rumours. One of the rumours was that he'd been hit by a horse. He's assistant manager to Aidan O'Brien, of course. I asked him before the game, is that true, Willie? He says absolutely not. Kick out for Galway. McNamara from Corofin going very short to Ray Silk. Outthinking the Kildare attack on that particular occasion. A real hit and hope one. But Joe Fallon trying to make something of it. In the end it was Glenn Ryan who got a touch. Linesman Brian White from Wexford just wanting Fallon back into the correct position. Referees and linesmen have been very strict on that in this particular championship. That's a big one. That's a very good kick. That's over the bar. This man has the look of a winner. They're convinced. And that's a third point for Joe Fallon. That was a tremendous kick. Accurate from the time it left his boot. And he opens up a 5-point gap. It's taken here by Dermot Early, trying to inspire his colleagues around midfield. Kildare with only 1 point in the second half so far. It's been frustrating for them. Here comes Eddie McCormack, really leading the charge right into the heart of that Galway defence. The players after him, and McCormack got to it in 20 metres of the Galway goal before being hauled down. This should be a routine kick. Pádraig Brennan about to take it. Scored with his first kick since coming on as a sub for Pádraig Graven. Pádraig Brennan, 2 out of 2 from frees, and they're Kildare's only scores in the second half, but it's still tight enough and they're still in there with a chance. 4 points between the teams. Two tremendously fit teams who will battle right to the 70th minute and into injury time as well. The prize, the biggest cup, the most famous, most celebrated trophy in Irish sport, the Sam Maguire Cup, won first of all by Kildare in 1928, but Galway right now ahead by 4 points. Midway through the second half, that's a wonderful catch by Joe Fallon. He's turning on the style here. It's real exhibition stuff by Joe Fallon in the second half. Donnellan ahead there for Kevin Walsh, looking for a next support player who is Sean O'Donnell. That's a good one. That's gone over the bar. O'Donnell did it in the semi-final. He's done it again in the final. Galway fans are celebrating already. It may be a bit premature, but they're delighted with the performance of their players in the second half, and O'Donnell's done it once again. What a kick. The last few points by Galway have been magnificent. Well, he was just inside the 45-metre line against Kerry, but by now the stories in Galway, I'm told, have it that he was about 90 to 100 metres out. Here's Carl O'Dwyer. Can he somehow give some confidence to the side managed and coached by his dad? A little off balance, hitting it in. McCreary is up there. Dively is contesting. McNamara and Dively, between them, they prevent it from going out over the end line, and being a 45, it's a sideline kick instead. Declan Kerrigan about to kick it in. Well, change of tactic. It'll be Niall Buckley, well capable of pointing this. He's between the 20 and the 13-metre line. Awkward angle. He's opted to lob it in towards Dermot Early. Fists rising up for it. Kerrigan's after it, and it's taken there by Sean O'Dwyer. nicely back, belted out by John Divilly towards Ja Fallon. Fallon has given Glenn Ryan a really rough time of it in the second half. He's getting a lot of possession. Donnellan has it. They've got Joyce ahead, almost unmarked. 2 men inside. Support play by Donnellan, who looks like a player who can run and run all day. Joyce kicking in a big collective groan from those up on the canal end. That should have had a score at the end of it. They had men over. It's only a question of which one of them would take the point. But really the fitness levels of Michael Donnellan, the dominance of Ja Fallon in the second half, the wonderful scores by Neil Finnegan, all features of a memorable second half so far for Galway, the Connacht champions. But now the turn of the Leinster champions to get themselves a free kick. Dermot Earley taking it quickly to Niall Buckley. Can Kildare get motoring again? Not with this particular attack. It's Gary Fahy snuffing it out. Michael Donnellan, player with a big engine, runs all day. It's a great pass ahead. Savage going down, going inside. He's got the chance. Savage, it's a great stop by Christy Byrne. If that had gone in, I think it would have been curtains for Kildare. Byrne with a wonderful stop from Derek Savage. Still 5 points between them. Rainbow, a let off for the Lily Whites. They're still in there with a chance, but they need some scores quickly. Martin Lynch, can he be the provider? Hasn't scored in the game to date. Dispossessed here. It comes forward to Donnellan once again. Ja Fallon ready to take on Glenn Ryan. Clearly hampered in this particular occasion by that leg injury, dragging down his man. Free kick to Galway. Neil Finnegan, I'm sure, will take it, and it should be another point. And Brian Murphy being prepared over on the far side by Mick O'Dwyer, but they'll be looking to him if he comes in to do something like he did against Meath in the Leinster final. They need a goal. The piece of paper is being prepared. Well, what about this save here, as Derek Savage wonderfully wormed his way inside Ken Doyle onto the left boot, and Christy Byrne came out very decisively. Finnegan composing himself, making sure that Glenn Ryan is the requisite distance away, reminding the referee. A nice kick, it sails over. 4 points for Neil Finnegan. An outstanding contribution. Happy fans for Galway all around Croke Park. Brian Murphy is about to come in, and I think it's Martin Lynch who's going off. It is. Well, the referee has decided that Martin Lynch, or rather the manager has decided that Martin Lynch is no longer required in this particular game. So that's the big move to bring Brian Murphy in. Buckley goes ahead. Murphy is waiting down inside the large square, waiting for possession. It comes to Buckley, transferred from Brennan. The little kick across towards Brian Murphy. It did well to keep that ball in play. It was going to the right, but it's Galway who get it back, Galway who can build, Galway who've been the more direct team. Michael Donnellan, perhaps I put the kibosh on him by mentioning their directness. Martin Lynch then disappointed at having to come off. Brian Murphy will relish the opportunity of taking his chance of playing in the All-Ireland final. We got a quick glimpse there of Ronan Quinn as well. Those injuries to Quinn and clearly to Glenn Ryan as well, certainly they must be a factor, but Galway have simply turned it on. That's a great catch by Brian Murphy, back down to Brennan, and he's put it over the bar. But 2 second half subs combining, and Pádraig Brennan getting his 3rd point, the first from play. And this man here, I'm sure, having checked his watch, realising that with 11 minutes to go, there's still a bit of hope. 113 to 1-8. One Kildare goal, you know, and it could all turn around. We saw it the way it turned around when Galway scored. That was a great catch by Brian Murphy, down to Brennan, and a smashing score. The switches seem to be working for Micko, but he's running out of time. McNamara's kick out. Great kick out to Kevin Walsh. The accuracy of those kick outs is certainly a feature. That's a trick, and quite blatant one at that. Michael Donnellan, the player who is down, and the referee calling aside Brian Lacey. So Lacey has the name taken in a match which really has been, by and large, a very, very sporting contest. Almost an hour gone. Mick Byrne once again called into the action, and the reason why, the trip here on Michael Donnellan, quite a blatant one. Donnellan's okay, back on the feet. Who'd want to miss playing in the last 10 minutes of the All-Ireland football final when your team is leading by 5 points? It's been 70 years since Kildare won the All-Ireland, but right now they have an awful lot to do just to try and ease into the Galway lead. Ja Fallon kicking, and that goes to the left. That is a 10th wide now in this match, and a 4th for Galway in the second half. Christy Byrne thought about the quick kick out, just as Martin McNamara did earlier, linking up with Ray Silk. Dropping it down the centre again. Ryan there, taking it down, but it's caught by Ja Fallon. Fallon's playing fabulous football. Glenn Ryan trying to give the leadership on towards William McCreary. Did well to take it over the head there of the defender, Sean O'Dwyer. McCormack comes in. Typical style of Eddie McCormack, nippy as ever. Has this got the accuracy? On this occasion, the answer is no. Eddie will have to be happy with the 2 points he's scored so far in this match. Nervous time for the fans, anxious time for the players. All that hard work. And again, some injuries, a feature late in the match. That's Ja Fallon who is down, receiving the attention from the medical officer. His fielding, his kicking, his passing, his overall contribution in the second half has been memorable. Galway not forced into making any changes so far, but the subs are ready just in case. Well, it's going through Miko's mind just now. He's made a couple of switches, but he's simply seen a Galway team provide us with high quality fare during the second half when they turned vital possession into memorable and wonderful scores. O'Donnell rises, early fists it back to Niall Buckley. Always a man to lift this team. Pádraig Brennan. Tomás Meehan has gone out after him. This is Buckley again. And that's gone over the bar. Niall Buckley, his first point of the match. He's working tirelessly. And the Kildare fans, well, they may be disappointed, but they still have hope. 4 points between the teams, and I think about 8 minutes to go. It was all the result of this wonderful run by Buckley. Having started it, he finished it in style and straight over the bar. That surely now will lift Kildare, but it's only their 4th point during the second half. Martin McNamara. Again, kicking out with accuracy towards Kevin Walsh. He's picked him out time and again. And that ball touched on the ground. Free downfield for Kildare. Rainbow to take it. Brian Lacey made a run ahead of him. And out over the sideline, Nick O'Dwyer within yards of his number 2. Brian Lacey racing back. An enterprising kick downfield towards Shea Walsh. Ken Doyle back there defending, keeping it away from Derek Savage. Christy Byrne. Again, typical Kildare play, out of defence, down towards Declan Kerrigan. Lobbing it into the forwards towards Dermot Early. 2 men going for the one ball, and between them they get in one another's way, and Galway get it back. It's turned out to be that kind of day for Kildare. Walsh, beautiful ball. Neil Finnegan, no marking. Finnegan has support. Walsh is to his left. He's got Savage ahead. Opts for the little number 13. Nippy as ever, leaving his man for dead. Derek Savage, not for the first time, getting in there, causing problems. Still Savage, running out of time, running out of space and options, and Kildare get it back. Rainbow playing it ahead to Willie McCreary. Concentration just lapsing a little bit. Has it back. Trying to take it away from Sean O'Dwyer. Carol O'Dwyer. I still remember those 2 fine points he scored in the first half, but nothing in the second. Declan Kerrigan in towards the full forward line towards Brian Murphy, causing a problem here for the Galway defence. But when the ball is played in there fast, Galway's full back line has problems. This is Dermot Earley. Murphy was still ahead of him. It's back to Carol O'Dwyer, and Carol O'Dwyer has put it wide. After all of that hard work, Kildare now with 11 wides in this match. It's a big high tally, and there's only 5 minutes to go, and there's some more news from the sideline from Marty.
Yes, indeed, Ger. One late change coming up for Galway. Paul Clancy from Whitehullen is being introduced. The man that's coming off is Shea Walsh from Glenamaddy.
No particular surprise there. We mentioned at the start of the game when we were doing the team lineups that the number 12 position was always a bit of a doubt. It was Shea Walsh who got there ahead of Paul Clancy when the selection was made, but now Clancy is in, Walsh is off, and that for the last 5 minutes of the game. He worked hard, Shea Walsh, and John O'Mahony with a little pat on the back there. Confirmation then of the change. So Clancy, the number 21, playing at right half forward. Meanwhile, it's Kevin Walsh, former schools basketball international, holding that brilliantly. Dively through the centre, stopped by John Finn and blocked by Michael Donlan. Finn again, running into Finnegan. Lacey holding onto it for dear life. Out to Rainbow. Here's Niall Buckley. The hand pass towards McCreary. Back there was Clancy, tracked well, and the referee saw it drag down, and it's going to be a free for Kildare. Dermot Earley looking on, watching as his son performs in the Kildare colours. The former Kildare manager, of course, as well. We shouldn't forget that. He was in charge for those couple of years when Mick O'Dwyer was, as he says himself, on sabbatical. Concerned about his son here, but Dermot's okay. Niall Buckley floating this one in towards Brian Murphy, but beyond the full forward. He couldn't take it. So now with about 3 minutes to go, plus I'm sure some stoppage time, because we have the doctors on to attend to injured Galway players. Mick O'Dwyer with a resigned look on his face. John O'Mahony on the verge of a most glorious victory for Galway. A man who has coached 3 teams in Connacht to win the Connacht title. His second time in charge of a county in the All-Ireland final itself. Went close in '89. Today, he'll never have a better chance with just minutes to go. Dermot Earley takes it back. Galway's defence well aware that one goal by Kildare late in the game could suddenly change things completely. McCormack was going in, Murphy couldn't hold it, and it's Tomás Mannion once again. He's had a stormer. Out to Michael Donlan, another big star. Sean O'Donnell and Ray Silk. He's already picked up 1 cup here in Croke Park this year, the club trophy. He hand passes that forward there towards Paul Clancy. Clancy challenging Sos Dowling, getting it onto the trusty left boot. Another one of those who hits with the left, and the block coming in here from Glenn Ryan, and it goes out over the end line, and that's a 45. But a weary looking Glenn Ryan at this stage, and you have to feel sorrow for any team to lose a final after all the intense preparation that goes in nowadays. It really is professional in all but name. They're ready to come and celebrate. 32 years it's been since Sam Maguire was taken over the Shannon. The end of Galway's glorious 3-in-a-row era, that wonderful team. But now they'll be talking about the men of '98. Kevin Walsh kicks it in. Well, it's one of those days when you expected the other midfielder to also get a score. On this occasion, he failed to do. We're inside the last half minute, or almost, well, the last minute at least. Christy Byrne, over the head of O'Donnell, comes back in here towards Anthony Rainbow. Kildare, who were hit by injuries going into the match. Niall Buckley laying one on here for Glenn Ryan. Lovely ball to Dermot Earley. Here's a late chance, and it's gone off a defender, and it's gone over the bar. And the defender in question was Tomás Meehan. It's one of those shots where you expected to see it buried in the top right-hand corner of Martin McNamara's goal. There are only 3 points between the teams. Now we're in for an edgy last few seconds here. This was that wonderful run through the centre by Dermot early, and Meehan got the fingertips to it and over. McNamara, the match virtually into injury time. Picked up here by Clancy. Paul Clancy stopped by Sos Dowling. Back to Silk. Nicely across to Jar Fallon. Nice ball ahead again from Donnellan to Neil Finnegan. Into the corner to Sean Ode, the player. He looks for another point, and he's got another. And Galway now are surely the champions. A second point by Sean Ode, the player from Ankeharu Rua. How a wonderful match can change directions in just a couple of seconds. Remember that shot by Dermot early? It could have gone into the net, that is. And then Galway would really have been breathing heavily, but they've come back themselves. And this is Neil Finnegan. They'll banish the memory today, it seems, of 83, the day when 14 could not beat 12 against the Dubs. Derek Savage couldn't quite keep it in play, but it's gone out, and Christy Byrne's got a replacement football, and he's ready to take the kick out quickly. Galway created 29 scoring chances, Kildare 26, but there are 4 points between the teams, and the white ribbons are already on the cup. The Sam Maguire, well, where is it going? Is it definitely going to Galway? Hang on a while. Rainbow has it. Kildare coming forward, they need a goal. Buckley belting it in towards Brian Murphy. What will Brian Murphy do? Gets a fish to it, off the post! Oh, that was so close. What a close shave that was. Kildare desperately frustrated and out of luck. The Moir are trying to keep the fans, the county board officials, everybody back, but Brian Murphy very nearly planted that. We've had a minute and a half of injury time already. This ambitious ball in here, in towards Brian Murphy. It's hit the post, it's gone out, but it's all over. And Galway are the All-Ireland champions for 1998. Galway have won their 8th All-Ireland final, captained by Ray Silk. And including in their ranks many stars. Mick O'Dwyer trying to congratulate the opposite man, John O'Mahony. O'Mahony's men have prevailed. It's Galway's day. They'll be celebrating here as the mass invasion of Galway fans, the maroon and white, swarms on to Croke Park. They'll be celebrating back in County Galway itself. I know Galway people all over Ireland, all over the world right now. There may even be the odd tear in the eye, but that captain has done it again. Ray Silk. He looked in trouble earlier in the match against the pace of Early, but right now he's coming to collect Sam Maguire. What a year in the life of Ray Silk, and what a day for Galway football. They've won the Sam Maguire for the first time since 1966. They did it with 4 points to spare. Congratulations from all and sundry to Galway. They started the day as Connacht champions. They end the day as All-Ireland champions. The men of the West are back. Connacht football once again takes its place as leaders of all of Ireland. They have won back Sam. They have beaten Kildare. But it was a close shave towards the very end. But there was no disputing. Neil Finnegan's team were the better side. They created wonderful chances. They played some sparkling football. And disappointed Kildare fans up on the hill, to their credit, they are staying in their places until the presentation is made. Ever the true sportsmen and women, Kildare salute the men of Galway, because Galway have done it.
Gossamore Sadakande, Nero Karan Sam Maguire, the Kildare Omedic Safehawk, Niroshe Ingalev Omedic Sashaskashe, Ahanyam, Karan, Vigair, Agalshir, Gagalev, Agas Kakolaka, Kogornakas, Nagale, Kondostaha. Weachas Kashilka Agobal Le Bang Naheran. Lumen Shota, Pat Malloy, Bannister, Pat McDowell, Bannister, Stura, Bong Naheran, Genevieve, Cogard, the Slow, and the Scudder, Milan Mahagin. Buchas, Lesha Multor, John Bannon, Namair, Cleve Leader, Namair Coyle. Buchas, Le Pelladori, Ilan Naheran, a hug na Sarha Sponta Stone, the hug Sheer and Learman. Ach, in you, is she, Movrod, agus Mohus Honora, Marostalan, Common Low Class Scale. Karen Sam McGuire, Avrana, Captain, Voka, McGillivre, Don Fedor, Jasper Shea, Ray South.
So Joe McDonough presents Sam to Ray. The West is truly awake. Galway are the All-Ireland football champions for 1998. What a day. What an occasion. Now remember when he last received the trophy, remember the length of the speech on that occasion. I think the Angelus will probably put back to 7 o'clock tonight. And look at the tears in the eyes. What an occasion. It's impossible not to be affected. Truly great sporting occasion. And what a moment now.
Winter Conlon Galway. Winter Connaught. Constance is top the wire. And now he Joseph McDonough I can't be Gottuck. Dion Gottuck I Kerry. Jeff Lean. I be Gottuck who Fossuck I Conlon Connaught. There's Tucker Dublin. Because you're on all dumb. Agus the Winter Galway on Conchar Glocka. Agus they Trasnu. Aaron Shannon. Calls to the shop. Time break as a horse of Cupadini. A deuce. Time break as a horse on our banner store. John O'Mahony. The Verge Star, Ella Lejean. Stefan Shogas and Erica. August Pete Warren as well to Tuma. Stephen August Pete. I'd like to thank our medical team, Jarlath Dignan, Mick Byrne, Ifáine Brannock, August Claire Culnan, Tagayub. I'd also like to thank very quickly the Galway Football Board, Pat Egan, the chairman, guys like that, John Joe Halloran, those kind of people. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Tommy Varden, Catering Equipment. I'd also like to thank I'd like to thank Bank of Ireland for their sponsorship of this championship. Bank of Ireland is synonymous now with the All-Ireland Football Championship. I'd like to thank our local men, Eamon Bradshaw in Galway, and the guys here in Galway. I better speed up because I know RT have a bit of a problem with the length of time I speak, so I'll move on. There was 24 guys in that programme. There was 6 others that trained for all year. The Cheshire, Micheál Clardy as Carna Cashel, Micheál Gagan, Kevin Terry McDonough, Robin Doyle, Tommy Wilson, August and Ken Jarnock, Porrick Boys from Uachtar, no Cigars. Thanks to those 6. Kai Mitch, Gotcha Gui Hochta, Ursula McDonough, Ban Queeving Toshi, the hospital jail. We'd like to send our best wishes to Ursula. She's expecting, and if it hadn't happened today, we'll have to call her the person Sam or Samantha. Kevin McDonough. Ursula, how's it going? Finally, in order for there to be winners, there has to be losers, and I'd like to offer the hand of friendship to Kildare. I'd like to say that they've brought tremendous colour, and I hope and I please God it won't be 70 years till they come out of Leinster again. 3 cheers for Kildare. Hip hip! Hip hip! Firstly, in our thoughts would be Ronan and Quinn, who failed the fitness test. No one would like to miss an All-Ireland final, and I hope Ronan makes it back here again. There's 3 people, just for 1 second, there's 3 people that were with us at the start of the year, and they all meant a lot to us in different ways, and I'm going to mention them very quickly. The first person was a young girl from Kildare, Sharon Craven. She was with us down in Mayo. And a young chap from Currafin, Kevin Killeen. And finally, from Drumshanbo, County Leitrim, would like to say, I'm sure he was with us today, Shane McGettigan. So would you put your hands together for those 3 people, please? Okay, Honjernuk, finally, and it goes without saying, I'd like to thank our supporters clubs in Dublin, Martin Duggan, John Dibley, John Consoline, Ray Crane, and in particular, would you give a big round of applause to the one and only Dim the Burke. Pat down on all those guys. Okay, we won't move, we'll stop before the Angelus. So Jarnock, I'd like to thank the people of Galway, particularly all those people that came to Castlebar, who went to Carrick, who went to the Hive, and again to Cork Park. I'd like to thank